Hello, welcome to episode 319. I've made a villager making machine. Okay, so what is it? There it is. What does it do? It makes villagers out of skeletons. So if I turn it on, so controller is on, yeah, let's summon a skeleton. There he is, he goes into the machine, thump, and he turns into a villager. Okay, so that's the basic setup. And so the first half of the video is basically me making that, and then after that we set up 3 different ways of spawning the villagers. So we can have it on a timer, and it's just gonna keep cranking them out. There we go, that's the timer version. We have a button version. I don't like this one because it's not very accurate. You can only target the nearest player, but does nothing at the moment because it charges me bones. I need to use bones, 10 bones to make a villager. So let's click on this button. You see I've only got 54 now. And a little skeleton. Off goes my villager. Okay. And we've got the sign. Sign is better because the sign knows who clicks on it. So we can do the same thing again. We click on it, summon a skeleton. If I don't have enough bones, so let's get rid of some. This does nothing, but the sign will say on my action bar, not enough bones. Okay, I just thought we'd do something a bit silly today. Why not? We're going to make villagers. Okay, let's make some villagers now. Okay, I've got the basic layout for my machine. That's where the skeletons spawn. That's where they'll start on the conveyor belt. That's where they change. And that's where they'll get killed or teleported into the void. Right. So let's set up what we need. I'm going to want some scoreboards, but that's for later, so we'll just save a space. And we'll just say set up there. That's for later. I'm going to want some spawn eggs. So let's make them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use markers to mark each area where something happens. You could hard code the values if you wanted to. Let's give egg. And this will be the spawn point. Okay, so I'm going to give at P. What have I got? Yellow. What's yellow? Maybe cod. Cod spawn egg. Okay, I'm not going to give them names. In the description, though, the commands in the description will have the name for it as well. Entity tag. And we're going to need some entity tags. What do I want it to spawn? A Minecraft marker, and I want that marker to have some tags. I'm going to give it 2 tags. It's going to be my marker. If they all have that tag, then I can target them all at once if I want, and this will be spawn skeleton. Done. I'm going to copy that block. I'm going to put another 1, 2, 3. Let's put some buttons on them, because I'm going to want one for each point. So this will be give egg conveyor belt. This will be the start of the conveyor belt. So start, and it's not going to be spawn skeleton. It will be conveyor start. And let's change its color as well. I'll use the same color as the wool I've used as a marker. So I'll do slime. Done. This one will be give egg. This will be the middle. Let's change this one to conveyor middle. And we want something with an orangey colour. I believe frog is pretty orange. Let's try frog. And this one will be the end. So give egg end. And I want a red one, so I'll probably use a strider. So this will be conveyor end, and let's use a 1, 2, 3 strider. Done. So I've got my eggs now. If you're using markers, it's nice to know they're actually there. So let's show markers. And we will do execute at any entity, and I can use that tag they've all share, my marker, run particle dust. Let's have a little bit of red, a little bit of green, and a little bit of blue. Why not? Size of 1 at those coordinates, 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. 0 count, zero speed, count of 1. Done. Let's turn that on. Let's get rid of that. Let's give ourselves the eggs. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's put them in place. So this one's going to go up here underneath the spawn point. This one's going to go here. Orange on orange, red on red. Okay, they all seem to be there. Let's turn that off. Right, now let's make a button that we can spawn a skeleton. That's a lever. That's not what I want. I wanted a sign. Spawn a skeleton. So we will execute at any entity. So type equals marker. To save time, I'm not going to type that bit. Oh, I'll type 1. Type equals marker. Tag equals spawn skeleton. So we'll execute there. We will run summon the skeleton at those coordinates. Let's give it some information. We want some tags. I'm going to give it 2. The generic tab, my mob, and a specific tag, skeleton. Okay. I'm going to give it a rotation. Now let's get the rotation. So they're going to land there and they're going to walk towards the red. So it's that way. If I press F3, I can say facing west towards -x 90 0. Okay. So rotation is going to be 90F 0F. Yep, that's all we really need. But I'm outside and it's daytime, so I'm going to put a button on its head to stop it from burning. Armor items. Nothing on its feet. Nothing on its legs. Nothing on its chest. We want something on its head. ID. And a count of 1. Now we can just put a button on its head. We can't see it, but it will block the sun. Oak button. Done. Now I don't want it to have ID. I don't want it to have AI, because I don't want it wandering off and changing its direction randomly. But actually, let's make one more button first here. A cleanup button. Well, a kill button to be fair. And we'll just do kill any entity, tag equals my mob. Right, so I want them to fall down. Boink, like that. Okay, let's get rid of that. We don't need it anymore. But I don't want it to have any AI. Now the problem here, if I put no AI on the end, so let's go after armor items, and I do no AI, true, well, you'll see the problem pretty quickly. The AI is what makes it fall. So it's just going to hang in the sky, so that's not going to work. So it's going to have AI so it falls. Done. Okay. Right, so now let's make a controller. Let's get the thing walking along there and doing some stuff. So this will be controller, and we'll just call it the main controller. Now the first thing I want to do, well, it's going to drop onto that block where our marker is. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a tag saying walk, so it knows that it should start walking, and I'm going to remove its AI. Execute at any entity, type equals marker, tag equals conveyor start. Okay, conveyor start. I have the feeling I spelled that wrong now. As any entity whose tag equals skeleton, distance equals 0 to 0.1, 0.1, and we can remove that 0, and we can remove that 0. run tag that skeleton, add walk. Okay, now we can probably test that. Let's turn it on. Let's summon a skeleton. Okay, he falls down. Now let's do kill any entity, tag equals walk. Okay, no entity was found, so it didn't find it. Go away. Get off my command blocks. Did we do something wrong? Conveyor start. I have a feeling. I do have a feeling. Did I spell that wrong? Convey or start. Yeah, I knew it didn't look right. I knew it didn't look right. There we go. Conveyor start. Oh dear me. Weekend for me at the moment. Weekends are busy, so my brain is all... Right, spawn skeleton. There he is. He should have now been tagged. Yeah. Okay, so he had the tag. Right, now let's remove his AI as well. And what we'll do is we'll copy this beginning bit. Home copy. Paste that back in. So execute at conveyor start as any skeleton. As anyone tagged skeleton. It's not checking for type skeleton, tag skeleton. Run data merge entity at S, and we'll merge in no AI. No AI true. Done. Okay, so let's summon another one. He should just stop. Yep, cool. Done. Right, now, anyone who has the tag walk should be walking. So let's execute as any entity whose tag equals walk. Now I'm not going to say type equals skeleton because this is going to work for the villager as well. So at S TP run TP yourself forwards just a little bit, 0.1. Okay, now he's already done. He's already facing that way, so we don't need to tell him to face that way. We could, if we wanted to, say facing entity at E tag equals conveyor end limit equals 1. We'll put a sort nearest on there as well. Sort equals nearest. Okay, done. Now that will have a difference. If I spawn him, he's going to go off walking. And because we've said facing that entity, as soon as he gets past the entity, he turns around to look at it and he keeps walking forward and then he turns back and then he turns. So what we've done is we've stuck him there and he makes a good little dance. But when they get to that red block, we're going to be killing them anyway. So we don't really need this facing entity on the end. Let's take it off. Done. Okay, you can see the difference here. He will now just keep walking. Off he goes. There we are. Okay. So we've got the first little bit. He walks to the end. Now let's detect him when he gets to the middle. So let's execute at any entity, type equals marker, tag equals conveyor middle. If he gets to the middle, as any entity whose tag equals skeleton, distance equals 0 to 0.1, and we can remove the zeros, we don't need them. Let's run particle. I like the push particle. The marker's quite low down, so let's lift it up a bit. And let's have 0.2 on the X. Let's have 0.5 height, 0.2 on the Y. A speed of 0 and a count of, let's quite a few. Let's have 100. Okay. Walk along. Boof. Cool. Right, let's get another one. Now, if that does happen, will do the next thing. So let's make this conditional. So if that does happen, let's copy some stuff from here. Execute at tag conveyor middle. Yeah. As any entity whose tag equals scope. Yep, let's copy all of that. Copy. Done. So we play the poof effect. And then we execute at the middle marker. That's the skeleton. Run. And this time, as, and we better say at as well. At, because I'm going to do a relative teleport. Run, teleport yourself. And let's say to your same coordinates, but very far down into the ground. Ascii once gave me some commands that used this -2112, and ever since then I've just kept using it. It's very far down. It'll be in the void. So, summon another one. We'll get a puff of smoke and he's going to vanish. Cool. Let's copy this block. Not the contents, just the block. Let's make it conditional. Okay. So if the skeleton has teleported, let's execute at any entity. Type equals marker. Tag equals conveyor middle. I suppose we just summon a villager. Summon a villager. We better say run summon villager. Run summon a villager at those coordinates. Let's give it some extra information. First, I want to tag it. It has to be walking, so it needs that tag to start with. But let's give it the generic tab, my mob. Let's also give it a specific tag. I'm not going to use this, but villager, in case you wanted to. And now let's give it walk. So it will be walking. Let's set its rotation. Rotation. I think it was 90, 0. Okay, and this one it's not falling, so we can just turn its AI off straight away. No AI equals true. Done. Turns into a villager. Villager gets to the end, and bye-bye, off he goes. Okay, so let's do that last bit. And then we'll execute at any entity. Type equals marker. Tag equals conveyor end as any entity whose tag equals, well, we can use the generic tag, my mob. The skeleton will never get here, so we could say villager. Distance equals 0 to 0.1, and as always we can remove the zeros if we want. I usually leave them in myself, just because when you're reading the command it makes it a bit quicker to read. At S, run TP yourself, you know where you're going, down to meet the skeletons. Okay, done, and I think that's our controller done, basically. Okay, so it gets to the middle, poof. We should put a sound effect in. Yeah, let's put a sound effect in. Let's clear all that out. So, sound effect could probably go in any of these. Let's copy these last two. 1, 2. That's control middle mouse, so we get the commands inside them as well. And this one was conditional, and this one wasn't. Let's get an empty one and put it in here. Make it conditional. And let's copy the execute at bit. Execute at tag conveyor middle. Run. Let's copy that. We'll play a sound. Play sound. I don't know. I haven't thought. Blaze. What did Blaze shoot? No, has to be entity.blaze.shoot on the master channel for all players at those coordinates. I believe this one might be quite loud, so maybe we should drop the volume down, 0.5. Let's drop the pitch as well, why not 0.5? Minimum volume is 0. Done. Yeah, that'll do. You can change the sound. It just made a noise just before he vanished into the void. He knew what was going to happen. He knew. Okay, so we're basically done. Let's do some different ways of spawning the skeletons, because we don't want to keep pressing that button. Or, yeah, let's do a timer. Yeah, let's do a timer. Okay. So this would be controller. I call it timer. Okay. And this is where we'll need a scoreboard, because we'll need a scoreboard to save the time. Scoreboard, objectives, add, timer. We're having fun. Dummy. Done. Oink. And then we'll do scoreboard, players, add. We need a fake player. Well, we'll just call it skeleton. A skeleton. So their timer. We'll add 1. Done. Okay, then execute if score skeleton timer matches, let's say 40 or higher. It's going to spawn one every 2 seconds. That's quite fast. You probably want it a bit lower. Then we will run scoreboard players reset skeleton timer. So that's effectively we're going to get a pulse every 2 seconds. So if we put a conditional block there, that will pulse every time this goes around the loop. And I suppose we just want to spawn a skeleton, really. So we can just copy our spawning skeleton command. Let's just get that copy and pop it in here. So now it's running for us. Okay, let's turn that on and see what happens. Just make sure we press that button. F3D, clear the chat. There's one, that worked. Cool. Nice. Okay, that's enough watching that. I could watch it for ages. Okay, so there's one way. Just got it on an infinite loop. Probably, if you've got what you need from the video, you can stop. I'm going to add a couple of extra ways, though. I'm going to add a way that you charge the player to do it. Let's do 2 different ways. We'll do one with a button and one with a sign. Button's not very good, because you can only really say at closest player, and you might press the button, but you might not be the closest player, so it's not very accurate. But we can do it to do a little bit of a test. So let's say spawn, or is it a controller? I don't know. Button. So first thing I want to do, I'm going to charge them. I'm going to charge them 10 bones to make a villager. So I need a way of counting how many bones. So we will scoreboard, objectives, add, bone count, dummy, done, create it. First of all, let's count how many bones I've got. Execute as the nearest player, store. Actually, can we just do execute store result score closest player into their bone count, run clear. See there, we've got a problem. We have to use 2 @Ps. Bone 0. Okay, so we could change that. Instead of having 2 @Ps, we could do execute at the closest player and then have @S. @S. That way, if you did want to change the selector at all, you only have to change this one. Done. I think the first thing to do is check if that's working. So let's clear my inventory. Let's scoreboard objectives, set the display of the sidebar to the bone count. I've got 54. I haven't. That's from previous testing, I think. Let's pick that one up. Okay, so it's definitely not updated my bone count there. Let's have a look. First things to do, is the name right? Bone count. That looks right. Let's go and check over here. It should say, already exists, bone count. Okay. Execute at. Easy. There we go. Found that mistake. We're executing at me, but not as me, so it doesn't know who to give the score to. Okay, cool. That works. It's counting my bones. It's seen I've got one. Right. Let's put down a block. Let's execute as the nearest player if score at S bone count matches, we charge them 10 bones, so if it matches 10 or more, run clear at S bone 10. Okay, but we only want to do that if we've cleared some bones, so I think we could probably make that conditional. And then we just want to spawn a skeleton. So I think, again, we can just copy this skeleton spawning. So let's copy that block, control middle mouse, put it down, make it conditional. Okay, if I press the button now, nothing happens. I've only got one bone. If I give myself some more, I've got 64 bones, press the button. Now I've got 54, a skeleton spawned, 44, yeah, 34, yeah. Okay, that's working. So there's an extra way of doing it. Or we'll do one more way. We'll do it so instead of using a button, we'll use a sign, because a sign knows who's clicked on it. Or if you're in later versions, interaction entity also knows who clicked on it. So we can use @s and never target the wrong person. So let's give ourselves a sign that's going to run the commands. Controller sign. This isn't really a controller. Right, I think I'm going to need a clipboard. Let's have a little clipboard block. I'm going to give the player an oak sign. And that oak sign is going to have a block entity tag. And that's the block entity tag. And in here is where I'm going to put what's on each line of text. Okay, done. Let's go to my clipboard. Text 1, the first line. Okay, apostrophe, apostrophe, curly brackets. In there is going to go my information. So let's have some text. That's going to be some text. And we'll have a click event. So that's a comma and then click event. Uh-oh. Okay. There we go. So that's one basic little setup. On the first line, I will have some text. And it will say spawn. It will have a click event. What is the action of the click event? The action is to run a command. What is the value of that command? The value will be, well, this is where we would count how many bones I've got. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy that, home copy, boink. I'm going to paste it in here. Now, how many brackets to the end? 1, 2. Okay, 2 brackets to the end. So let's paste that in. So if I know that if I come back into this command block, I can go 1, 2 back, and that's where I can put my next one. So let's give ourselves that sign. Let's get a piece of wool. So we've got a wall to put the sign on. There's our wall. Let's give ourselves that sign. Okay, we've got spawn written on it. That's a good start. Now let's put the command in there. So we want to execute store result. And here's where we can just use S, because that's the person that clicked on the sign. Bone count run clear @s bone 0. Done. Okay, let's get a new copy of that sign. Right, I've got 34 bones and bone count is currently set to 44, so if I right click on that sign, absolutely nothing happens. That's fantastic. Okay, let's have a look and see if we can fix it. Right. Can you see straight away I've got execute story? I bet you spotted that. I was looking at the keyboard. Execute store. Okay, let's make some space. Let's give ourselves a new sign. Pop the new sign up. Click on it. We've got more than one mistake in there. Okay. Right. Bone count. What on earth am I doing? Done. Let's change it to bone count. Put that up there. Right click on that. There we go. We can see bone count has now changed to 34. If I throw away a bone, click on it again, 33. That's working. Okay. Now the longer these commands get, the harder they are to debug. So let's try not to make such stupid mistakes next time. Let's do the next line. Okay. Back to our template. And this is going to be line 2. So we'll change that to 2. And we don't want that to say spawn. We'll say skeleton. And let's change the command we're going to run. Actually, we'll keep this template clean. Copy. We'll go in here. We'll go back 1, 2, comma, paste. And we'll put our command in here. What should we put? So we've counted the bones. Let's clear. If we've got 10, let's clear 10. Clear from the player who clicked on the sign, whose scores equals bone count equals 10 or more. Yep. And then bone 10. Okay, let's just try that one. Get rid of the old sign, get a new one. So I have 34 bones. I click on it. I've got 24. I've got 14. That's good. Let's give ourselves some more bones. Okay, back to our template. Let's change it to text 3. I'm going to leave line 3 blank. You could say, so we've got line 1 spawn, skeleton. We could say 4 10 bones, but I'm going to leave it blank. And we'll need a command. We'll put that in a minute. Let's copy that. Copy. Done. Let's go into 1, 2, comma, paste. Right. What do we need here? Here we're going to need to spawn the skeleton. But we have to check the score first. So execute if score, the person who's clicked on the sign, their bone count matches 10 or higher. Yep. And then we'll execute at type marker tag spawn skeleton. So let's just put a marker in here so I can see easily. Let's put some stars. There we go. Done. So I think we're just going to do the summon skeleton command. Execute at type marker. Yeah. But we don't need the execute. So let's copy everything but the execute. Copy. And let's go here. Nice and easy to see because we put those stars. And then we'll just paste in that summon command. Done. Kill the old sign. Get ourselves a new one. Put it up there. Clear the chat. F3D. I've got 64 bones. Right click. Nothing happened. Okay, now that time I did expect nothing to happen. What we need to do, if we look at this command, we will see that it is enclosed in speech marks. But our command also has speech marks. So this is going here and it's going along and it's finding our first speech mark, which is here, and it's going, that's the end. What's all this other stuff? I don't know. And it's getting confused. So we need to escape these speech marks. And we can do that with that slash, 2 of those slashes. So we'll copy them. And anywhere inside our command that we've got speech marks, we will put those in front. There's one. There's one. There's one. Rotation doesn't need any. Armor items. Yes, look, oak button has one. 2. There we go. And this one is the end of the command, so that should be okay. Done. Give ourselves a new sign. Pop it up. Aha! I've got 44 bones. Right click the sign. 34 bones. Cool. 24 bones. 14 bones. A sign can run 4 commands. Let's stick something in the last command. Let's get this. We'll just change this to text 4. Let's copy all of that. Copy. Done. Put it here. We go 2 in. 1, 2, comma. Paste in our template. Let's do something if the player doesn't have enough bones. So let's do title at S, and we'll do a bone check here. Scores equals bone count equals, I suppose, less than 9. And we'll put it onto the action bar, and we'll do some text. We'll do text, and we'll do a color. Now see if you can spot the mistake that's going to happen. Text. What should we do? Not enough bones. We don't need to think too hard. Not enough bones. There we go. And we'll want a color. Do you know what mistake we are making? Red. Will this work? The answer is no. Get rid of that sign. Put a new one up. Clear the chat. Now I've got 4 bones. Now I don't have enough. Run it again. Nothing happens. Well, it's because it's exactly the same as last time. We have a command encased in speech marks, but our command also has speech marks in it. So there they are. Not this one. That's the end of the command, but we will need to do this bit for. Let's cancel that. I pressed Control V. Let's put in our. There we go. Let's put in our little slashes and copy them and put them around every speech mark inside the command. There we go. Done. Get rid of the old sign. F3D, clear the chat. Give ourselves a new sign. Put the new sign down. I don't have enough bones. Let's try to use it. Hey, on the action bar, not enough bones. Okay, well, that was on for a bit. I thought I'd just show a few extra ways that we could summon the skeleton. But it's definitely working. There they are. Converted into the villager. And the villager, off they go for their adventure in their life. Or in this case, straight down into the void. Turn that off. Okay, right. That's it for today. I will see you. I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully, if I have time tomorrow, there might not be one. Busy weekends for me. Okay, enjoy your day. Take care. Bye bye.